Life is a journey full of challenges, and sometimes it can be a challenge to make the right decision. Hi, this is Sundar Raj from Francis Xavier Engineering College, Department of Information Technology of 2020 batch. This 4 years of engineering journey taught me many lessons. This is the platform where I found myself. My department faculty guided me in the right way to choose my domain. On my second year of engineering, I got IBM certified on predictive modeling, which helped me to choose my domain as a data scientist. And of course, I have done many projects on data science, which is related to the real-time projects and helped me in a way to get placed in my major. Of course, college means degree and degree means job. Thanks to Francis Xavier Engineering College for providing me a best training regarding the placements, which helped me to get placed in car technologies with the annual CTC of 5 lakhs and also in Cognizant with the annual CTC of 4 lakhs. Being in Francis Xavier Engineering College is like staying on the road to the Damascus, where you can gain the required knowledge to achieve your goals. Thank you.
Hey, hi, this is Dr. Lakshmi Narayanan from Francis Xavier Engineering College. We welcome you all to our YouTube channel. This video presents digital solutions for COVID-19. We all know that the world today is under a pathetic situation because of this COVID-19 problem. As per the statistics given by the World Health Organization, it is reported that there are 40,88,848 cases with COVID-19 positive throughout the world. And on an average, there are 80,000 new cases admitted daily. If we take the statistics of India, as per the Health Ministry, for the past 5 months, a total of 62,939 cases are recorded with COVID-19 positive as on May 10th. When comparing with the other countries, the number in India is considerably low, but still it is a huge number. As per the World Health Organization and Ministry of Health, the symptoms of COVID-19 are fever, that is a high fever, shortness of breath, and cough. Both World Health Organization and Ministry of India came up with some excellent solutions to prevent ourselves from COVID-19, which are keeping social distancing, wearing masks, and frequently washing the hands with soap or sanitizer. Here, in this video, we come up with even more better solution, which is a digital solution to prevent ourselves from COVID-19. As per the World Health Organization and Ministry of Health India, one of the best solutions for preventing from COVID-19 is frequent hand wash with soap or sanitizer. On this case, if the sanitizer is kept on a public place like school, college and mall, it will be accessed by almost more number of people. In this case, if a person with COVID-19 access the publicly kept hand wash or sanitizer with their hands, there are more possibility of disease getting spreaded to many people. In order to avoid this, we come up with a digital solution, that is a contactless hand sanitizer, which consists of an ultrasonic sensor that sends the human who is approaching to use the sanitizer, and which instructs the microcontroller, and thus the controller in turn controls the servo motor connected to it. This makes the wings placed in the servo motor to move, which in turn pulls the sanitizer head, and now the solution will be ejected. This is a simple circuit diagram for our proposed solution, which consists of a microcontroller. In our case, it is an Arduino UNO, a servo motor, and an ultrasonic sensor. Now let us see a short demo on this particular product. In this video, we are not going to use any kind of hardware. Instead, we are going to simulate this proposed method online using an excellent software tool provided by Autodesk. which is Tinkercad. And later, after simulation, which can be implemented on any hardware. Tinkercad is a very simple tool for a beginner who are new to embedded system, which does not require any programming knowledge to build an embedded system. Now let us go into the demo. So now let us start the demo. So I'm just opening Google and let us search for Tinkercad. So you can see more results for Tinkercad here, and just we'll log into our Tinkercad official website. So just by clicking the first result, we'll be entering into our Tinkercad website. So this is our Tinkercad website. So what you have to do is we have to just sign in. So I'm just clicking on sign in. So here you can see more number of options for getting signed in into our Tinkercad account. You can either sign in using your Google or Apple ID, or you can even create your own Tinkercad account, and you can log in into your Tinkercad, and you can make use of this Tinkercad circuit designing. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on sign in with Google. So because this is a better way so that we can sign in very fastly. So I'm just choosing my account and I'm just logging in into a Tinkercad account. As everything is happening in the cloud, it might take some time. Yes, yes. Now this is the Tinkercad desktop, and here you can see more number of things here. Like, you can design 3D models, you can design circuits, and as far as this project is concerned, I'm just concentrating on the circuits here. So I'm just clicking on this circuit. So now I'm entering into the circuits dashboard. So this is my dashboard under my login, and these are the circuits which I have practiced earlier. So in order to start with a new circuit, I'm just going to click on create new circuit here, which is in the green color. I'm just clicking on this create new circuit. So it is getting entered, so that you can see your work environment of your Tinkercad here. And so this is your work environment of your Tinkercad. So this place is your work environment where you are going to design the circuit, and in the right hand side you can see the basic components, so which can be incorporated for designing a circuit. So all these are simple components, that are basic components, and while clicking here, and if you select all components, so here you can see all possible components which can be incorporated for designing the circuit. So here you can see LEDs, keypads, sensors, motors, batteries, breadboards, microcontrollers, oscilloscopes, ICs, transistors, and everything. So as far as our project is concerned, let us first keep this component as basic. So before entering into our topic, let us be familiar with this Tinkercad application. So for making you familiar, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to design a simple circuit, that is I'm just going to glow a LED, right? So for that, what are the things or what are the components which are required? So basically we need a power supply. So for that I'm just going to use a 9-volt battery here, right? So I'm just going to glow an LED, so I'm just going to have a LED, right? So selecting a component is not a big task. What you are going to do is just click on that particular component, and you have to drag to the workspace, and you have to drop it. So that much is the effort taken to select a component. So if you are not needed with that particular component, you can just select that particular component and you can click delete, so that component will get deleted. So for making this LED glow, what I am going to do is I need to wire this LED with the battery. So for wiring, what I am going to do is, so in this LED you have two terminals, one is your cathode and the other one is your anode. So what I am just going to do is I am just going to click on that particular cathode and just going to drag a wire from that particular point. So I am just going to connect it with the negative terminal of the battery here, which has been placed here, right? So we can even change the color of the wire for our convenience. Let us just change this wire color to black, right? So the next terminal is your anode. So before connecting this anode to the positive terminal of the battery, we need to connect a resistor, right? So this resistor will keep your LED safe, because we are just going to connect a simple LED to a 9 volt, that is comparatively a higher voltage. So I am just going to put a small resistor which is of 1 kilo ohm. You can even change the value of your resistor by just entering the different values like 12 kilo ohm, or you can even change the units by clicking here. So I am just going to give it as 1 kilo ohm, and I am just going to drag from the other end of the resistor a wire and just going to connect it with the positive terminal of the battery. So this is what is the effort I am just going to put for creating a LED to glow. So even I can just change the color of this particular wire also. Let us make it as red, so that this red represents your positive terminal and this black represents your negative. Okay, so what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to start simulating it. Just by clicking this start simulation, you can see the LED is getting glown. So this is one way of glowing an LED. So now let us stop the simulation and we'll try some other possibilities also. Now let us try to delete this particular wire, and what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to add a push button here. So I'm just adding a push button here. So this push button is introduced here to have a control over this LED. While I am pressing this particular push button, your LED will be glowing. While I am leaving this push button, that is when I am unpressing this push button, your LED will be turned off. So this is what is the purpose of the push button. Just I am connecting the other terminal of the push button back to the positive terminal of the battery. Now I am just trying to simulate it. So now you can see that LED is not glowing here. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to press this push button. So when I'm pressing this push button, you can see that LED is glowing. Okay, so this is a simple example to make you very familiar with the Tinkercad. So now let us try to implement a simple circuit with Arduino. So for this, what you are going to do is we'll go back to the Tinkercad dashboard, and by clicking this create a new circuit, I am just opening a new workspace. So the workspace is getting opened here. So as I told you earlier, I am just going to do a simple experiment with Arduino. So I am in need of Arduino here, right? I am just clicking on the Arduino and I am just placing it over the workspace here. So what I am just going to do is I am just going to connect an LED with this Arduino, and I am just going to create some logic so that the LED is going to blink as per our control. So similarly, as we did earlier with a LED and a battery, I'm just going to connect the cathode with the ground, which is there connected here, right? Later on, I'm just going to change the color of that wire to black. Now I'm just going to introduce a resistor here. So from that resistor, I'm just going to drag a wire and I'm just going to place it over any one of the digital pins which are available in the Arduino. So let me change the color to red color in order to differentiate your positive and negative terminal of your LED. So this is what is the effort I am putting for creating a LED globe with a logic using Arduino. So in the previous part, while we are doing some experiment with a battery and LED, it does not require any programming or coding. While we are going to control this LED with some logic, we need some kind of coding to perform this particular task. So I'm just entering into the coding part. So I'm just going to enter into this editor. As I told earlier, this Tinkercad doesn't need any programming knowledge. So if there is a logic known to you, so you can implement that particular logic and we can create our own code. So let us start coding this particular experiment. So what I'm just going to do is, initially I'll set this output, that is I'm just going to click on this particular output tab and just going to select set pin 0 to high. I'm just clicking and dragging it to the coding space. Okay, so I have connected my LED to pin number 4. So what I'm just going to do is, I'm just going to select this particular pin selector. I'm just going to select it and choose pin number 4 as high. So this makes your LED to glow. So how long your LED has to glow, so that we need to set. So for that we need to click on the control. So I'm just clicking on the control. So while clicking on control, you will be having some kind of control blocks in this page. Of that, I'm just choosing this wait option. I'm just dragging and placing it in this space, so that I'm creating some kind of delay that is between your glow and off. That is, the blinking time is getting deferred with the help of this delay time. So I'm just going to make it as 500, not seconds, it is millisecond, right? So later on, again you can go into your output and again drag this particular block and you are going to place it in the coding space, and then again you are going to select pin number 4 and make your LED to turn off. So how long your LED is going to be turned off, that you are going to give it through the delay. So that I am just going to add a delay just by giving 500 millisecond. So this is what is the effort taken to build a logic, so that your LED is going to blink for 500 milliseconds. That is, your LED is going to kept in on state for 500 millisecond and it is going to kept in off state for 500 millisecond. So this is what the effort taken for writing a code for this particular task. So now let us run the code and verify the program just by clicking the start simulation. So now what you are seeing is it is getting initialized and you can see that the LED is blinking. So that how it is blinking, it is blinking like it is in the on state for 500 millisecond and off state for 500 millisecond. So you can even change the timing and you can verify. So before that you can stop this simulation and again entering into the code, you can change the timing as 1000 millisecond and let this off state be 500 millisecond, so that we can see some kind of difference in that LED blinking. Again let us go into the start simulation and let us simulate it and see. Now it is initializing. We can see that it is on for 1 second and it is off for half a second. So this is what is a basic example for blinking a LED. Now we may ask that whether I can use the same code for implementing in Arduino in real time. The answer is yes, but you can't use the same blocks, but instead your Tinkercad is offering you an excellent solution by clicking on this block, and if you choose block plus text, you can find the Arduino code for implementing in real time. So in this code we can see your pin mode is set to pin 4 as output, and in the loop you can find your LED, your pin 4 is kept high where your LED is connected, and we have given a delay for 1000 millisecond, and then your LED is turned off as your pin number 4 is kept low, and this logic will be running for 500 millisecond, and again this loop will be running, so that this particular code can be copied, or you can download it from this tab, your download code tab, and you can click on this tab so that your INO file for your Arduino environment will be downloaded here. By clicking on this, you can use this particular code and you can have it in your Arduino IDE, and you can check it in the real time. So now we are entering into the next design. So as earlier we connected this LED with a 9-volt battery, and we introduced the push button. So similarly we are just going to implement the same logic using Arduino. So for that, what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to click on the push button and just dragging it and placing it in the workspace. So now what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to connect the terminal A1 of the switch button to your 5-volt to power on the switch button. Now I'm introducing a pull down resistor for this switch button, and I'm just connecting the other end of the resistor to the ground which is there in the Arduino. Now I'm using the other end of the terminal of the switch button, and then connecting it to the digital pin in the Arduino. So this is what is the circuit connection. As I told you, this particular circuit is going to operate on a particular logic. So whenever I am going to press this particular switch button, your LED has to glow. So whenever I am unpressing it, it has to be kept off. So that is what is the task which I am going to implement. So for that we are entering into the coding part. So now what we are in need is we have to enter into the control. So for this control we are just going to implement the if else task. So if the push button is pressed, you have to glow the LED, else you have to stop the LED. This is what the task given to the particular project. So I'm just going to click and drag the if else block here. So now I'm entering into the math tab. I'm just going to select this particular hexagonal block and just going to drag it and fix it in the if statement. So now I'm just going to give some conditions, so that conditions will be your input. So now what you are going to do, you are just going to read some pin, that is a digital pin, which is nothing but the pin to which your switch is being connected. So I'm just going to click on read digital pin here. So to which pin your digital push button is being connected, it is connected to pin number 7. So I'm just again going into your coding part. I'm just going to choose pin number 7 here. So now what I'm going to do, if the push button is equal to, that is your pin 7 is equal to high is nothing but your math, I'm just going to drag this high button and place it in this space. So your if condition is now satisfied, that is whenever your digital pin 7 is equal to high. Okay, so what task has to be performed? So for that you are going into the output block. So for this output block you have to select set pin 0 to high. So you are choosing this particular block and place it in if statement. So in this if statement you have to set the pin to which your LED is connected. So to which pin your LED is connected, your LED is being connected with the pin number 4. So you have to choose pin number 4 here. In this case we don't want to introduce any kind of delay, because this particular project is running on a logic. Whenever you press your push button, your LED has to glow, so there is no need of any delay here. So the condition, if condition is now created, that is whenever you press your pin number 7, that is your pin number 7 has been activated, your LED has to glow. The LED which is connected with pin number 4 has to glow. Now what you are going to do, you are going to solve the else statement. Now you have to drag the set pin 0 to high here again. Now you have to set your pin to 4, as your LED is connected to pin number 4. Now you have to set it to low. So now your else statement is also ready. So whenever your pin 7 is high, that is whenever it sees your push button is being pressed, your LED which is being connected to pin number 4 will be glowed. If it is released, when your pin is released, that is your push button is released, your LED will be kept off. So let us now simulate this particular code just by clicking the simulation. So on clicking the simulation, now the code starts running. So in initial condition you can see that LED is in the off state. So whenever I am clicking this particular switch, you can see that the LED is being glowing. So whenever I press this particular button, you can see the LED is glowing. So here we are creating a simple logic using the if else condition. So even this particular blocks can be even converted to the Arduino code, and you can implement it in the real time. So for that what you are going to do is, again from this block your drop down has to be selected as blocks plus text. So here you can see the Arduino code for this particular project. So here your pin number 7 is set as input. So your input pin 7 is connected to your push button, and pin number 4 is connected as output. So your LED is your output terminal or output device which is being connected to pin number 4. Now in the while loop we can see your if else statement. If the digital pin 7 is equal to high, which represents whenever you are going to press the push button. So what happens, so your digital right pin number 4 has to be kept high. So this is your if statement. Whenever you are pushing the button, your LED has to glow with the command high. On else condition, what you are going to do, you have to switch off the LED. When you are unpressing your push button, your LED is kept off. So again it will create a delay, so that whenever you press your push button, your LED will be kept on, and whenever you are unpressing it, your LED will be kept off, and this will be performed in the loop. So whenever the operation is being taken place. So now let us start with the proposed solution, that is a automatic hand sanitizer or a hand wash. So for that I am choosing components from the component list. So I am selecting my microcontroller which is Arduino UNO. So I am just placing it in the workspace. So I need secondly I need a sensor to find a person approaching for using the hand sanitizer. So I'm using a ultrasonic sensor for identifying a person approaching the hand sanitizer. Then I need a DC motor here. So in this place we can either use a DC motor or we can use a servo motor. In our case I'm just using a DC motor. And what else is required is a 9-volt battery, because the power supplied from the Arduino is not sufficient to drive a motor. So we are trying to connect or trying to drive this motor using a 9-volt battery here. So what else is required is a relay module for controlling the motor activity. So I'm just trying to choose a relay module from this component list. So I found it. Yeah. So this is the relay module. So these are the different components required for creating a automatic hand sanitizer. So now let us try to connect all those components. So first we'll start with an ultrasonic sensor. So this is a ping based ultrasonic sensor which consists of 3 terminals. One is your ground pin, power pin and signal pin. So this can be seen clearly using this picture. So it consists of 3 different terminals. So the first terminal is your signal pin, and the second pin is your VDD, which is your power pin, and the third pin is your VSS, which is nothing but your ground pin. So it consists of 2 different knobs. One is your transmitter knob and the other one is your receiver knob. So from the transmitter an ultrasonic ray will be transmitted, and when it finds a obstacle or a person who is approaching for using a sanitizer, it hits on the obstacle and it will be reflected back to the receiver. So the time duration from the transmitter to the receiver will be calculated, and later on this time will be converted to a distance using time to distance conversion formula. So this is what is the working of a ultrasonic sensor. So now we are just going to connect this ultrasonic sensor. So here this is the ground pin. I am just going to connect the ground pin of your ultrasonic sensor to the ground pin of the Arduino. Now I am just going to connect the 5-volt power pin of ultrasonic sensor to the 5-volt which is there in the Arduino. Then at last the remaining pin is your signal pin. I am just going to connect this signal pin to any one of the digital pins which is there in the Arduino. I am choosing pin number 4 for connecting the signal pin to the Arduino. So this is what is the connection for connecting a ultrasonic sensor with a Arduino. So now we'll try to connect the motor part. So this motor is being connected to this Arduino through a relay module. So I'm just trying to connect this relay module, and before that we can change the color for this ultrasonic sensor wires, connecting wires. So let us choose black color for ground and red color for power pin, and blue color for signal pin. And now let us try connecting the relay module. So I'm just connecting the one of the terminal, that is your signal pin, to pin number 13 of your relay, that is your communication pin. So, and I'm just going to connect pin number 8 of the relay with the ground terminal of a Arduino. So now let us change the color. As this is a control wire, I'm just going to give it with the blue color. As this is a ground wire, I'm just going to give a black color. So now what else is remaining is I'm just going to connect this motor with the battery. So the negative terminal of the motor can be directly connected to the negative terminal of the battery. I'm just trying to connect it again. Okay, I've connected it. So what else is remaining is I'm just trying to connect the pin number 6 of your relay module to be connected with the positive terminal of a motor, and I'm trying to connect the terminal 12 to the positive terminal of the battery module. So we can change the color for this. So I'm just trying to give red color for the positive terminals and a black color for negative terminals, and again here it is red color for the positive terminal. So this is what is the connection for connecting a motor with the Arduino through a relay module. So now let us enter into the coding part for this proposed solution. So now I'll just click the code part, and I've already coded it. So if we see here, we are just declaring this pin to pin number 4 and motor as pin number 13, and in the void setup we are declaring motor pin, that is pin number 13, as your output, and in the void loop we are declaring the duration and distance in centimeter, and initially the pin is being declared as output, so that this pin will be kept low for 2 milliseconds, and again it will be kept high for 5 milliseconds, and again goes to low. Okay, then later on the pin mode will be kept as an input, that is your pin will be taken as an input. So during this the duration will be calculated using duration is equal to pulse in pin comma high. So during the high time it calculates the pulse in, so through which the distance is being calculated using the time to distance conversion formula, that is microsecond to centimeter, so that this converts the duration to the centimeter. Now it comes a if statement, that is if the distance is less than 100 centimeter, we have to start the motor, that is you have to make the logic high, or else we have to make the motor to turn off or logic low. So this loop will be running on a iteration. So this is what is the coding part. Now let us see or test this proposed solution. So now let us start simulating it. So while simulating, the motor is turned on because the distance is less than 100 centimeter. So now we are placing an obstacle here. Consider this as the obstacle, or a person who is approaching for utilizing the sanitizer. So now he is in 184 centimeter. So here we have given a logic as if he is less than 100 centimeter, only then the motor will be start pumping the sanitizer or hand wash solution. So here in this case the person is standing at a distance of 184 centimeter. So if a person is approaching near the sanitizer, you can see the motor getting started. That is, now the condition is the person is starting or standing near the hand sanitizer. The distance is 86 centimeter, which is less than 100 centimeter, so that the motor automatically turns on. So as this motor is turning on, it starts pumping the sanitizer or a hand wash. So if a person is moving away from the hand sanitizer, you can see the motor automatically stops. So the distance is 174. So if he is coming closer to the sanitizer, that is less than 100 centimeter, your motor starts rotating automatically. So this is the digital solution given for the proposed model.